At 0610 Iranian time, something new has happened. Over 240 simultaneous impacts shook Tehran and the nearby mountains. Iran is about to find out why Americans don't have free healthcare. New escalation. 3 B-2 Spirit stealth bombers. They had lifted off from Diego Garcia 6 hours earlier. Diego Garcia is a small British island in the Indian Ocean. It sits 2,500 miles south of Iran. The United States parks heavy bombers there for exactly this kind of mission. No announcement. They simply taxied into the dark, lifted off, and disappeared. A B-2 does not look like anything else in the sky. It has no tail. It has no fuselage. It is a 172-foot flying wing shaped like a spaceship and painted flat black. Every surface is angled to push radar energy away from its source. Its radar return is roughly the size of a large bird. Under normal conditions, that still matters. Tonight, it barely does, because there is no radar left. The Seed and Dead missions that ran before dawn already solved that problem. Every Iranian radar dish capable of tracking a high-altitude aircraft is either burning or switched off by a crew that does not want to advertise its location. The B-2 is not sneaking through a working air defense network. It is flying over the wreckage of one. Each jet carries 2 pilots. They sit side by side in a cockpit the size of a small kitchen. They have been in the air for 6 hours. Behind their seats is a fold-down rest bunk. One pilot flies, one pilot rests, then they swap. This is how the United States Air Force fights a war from 2 continents away. But tonight, the pilots are not the story. The weapons are. Each B-2 carries 80 GBU-38 Joint Direct Attack munitions inside its 2 internal bomb bays. Each GBU-38 is a 500-pound GPS-guided bomb. 3 aircraft, 80 bombs each, 240 precision-guided munitions inside a single coordinated strike window. Every single one of them had GPS target coordinates loaded before the wheels left Diego Garcia. Every single one of them was already assigned a specific fuel storage tank, a specific bunker entrance, a specific convoy staging area somewhere in western Iran. They are about to get rid of a couple of grid squares. Inside each bomb bay sits a rotary weapons launcher. Think of it as a revolver the size of a small car. The drum rotates and drops each weapon in fast sequence. The bombs fall away, and GPS tail fins extend immediately after release. From 40,000 feet, they spread apart in the open air, each one steering itself independently to a different set of coordinates below. 1 aircraft, 1 pass, dozens of separate impact points. The launcher cycles through all of them in under 2 minutes. At 0608 local time, the first B-2 opens its bomb bay doors. 40,000 feet over western Iran, the launcher begins cycling. A bomb releases every second and a half. The pilot holds course and says nothing. Aircraft banks south. Not a single cannon round fired. Nothing shot back. Nothing even registered they were there. The second B-2 is 60 miles southeast over the Zagros mountain range. Its bay is already open. Different grid coordinates. Same logic. IRGC fuel depots, weapons bunkers. The third B-2 is northeast, running a parallel strike package over the supply corridors that have been pushing missiles and Shahed drones west for last 3 days. Here is the part Iran did not plan for. GPS-guided bombs released from high altitude do not all hit at the same time by default, but they can be programmed to. Each GBU-38 has a small onboard computer that adjusts its glide angle and descent speed to arrive at its target at a precise preset moment. All 240 bombs were programmed for the same moment, not within a few minutes of each other. The same second, 240 explosions, simultaneously, across hundreds of miles of western Iran. At 0610, the IRGC logistics network receives 48 hours of missiles all at once. Fuel depot at Elam province. 2 direct hits. The storage tanks rupture and the fireball punches 200 feet into the morning air. Missile propellant warehouse at the Kermanshah logistics hub. The roof folds inward before the walls even move. The hardened ammunition bunker outside Sanandaj. The blast wave has nowhere to go except outward through the hillside. The convoy staging area in the valley south of Bijar. Satellite imagery from yesterday afternoon counted 40 fuel trucks parked in rows. At 0610, the valley floor becomes a secondary explosion that registers on seismographs 200 miles away. None of those trucks will fuel anything ever again. These strikes are not normal. This is a strike on a system. The IRGC does not store its missiles in one place. It does not keep its fuel in one depot. It disperses. It hides. It moves constantly. Against an aircraft that carries 4 bombs, that strategy works perfectly. Against an aircraft that carries 80 bombs with individual GPS coordinates, dispersal is not a solution. Iran spent decades and billions of dollars building a distributed logistics network so no single strike could knock it all out at once. The B-2 was built specifically to answer that idea. By 0615, damage assessment teams are pulling imagery across all 3 strike corridors. This is not luck. The United States did not wake up this morning and decide to bomb Iran in this way. It spent years deciding exactly what to bomb and in what order. First, the radars. The Seed and Dead missions ran before dawn and turned Iran's entire air defense network into scrap metal. No radar means no tracking. No tracking means no targeting. No targeting means no shooting back. That door closed before the first B-2 left Diego Garcia. Then, the commanders. The strikes on Tehran's command infrastructure earlier removed the people who give the orders. An army without commanders is just a crowd of men waiting for a phone call that is never coming. Then, the missiles. F-15 IRAMs hunted the ballistic missile force across 3 provinces since dawn. Tell after tell, caught in the open. Fuel lines connected. Crews visible. The long-range strike force Iran spent a decade assembling to hold Israel and American bases at risk is now a collection of burning launch rails in mountain valleys. That was the top of the chain. Now the United States is cutting the bottom out, because here is what American intelligence understood that Iran did not expect anyone to understand. A military is not just its weapons. A military is everything that keeps those weapons moving, fueled, loaded, and aimed. Remove the weapons and a competent enemy rebuilds. Remove the system that feeds those weapons and the weapons already built become useless overnight. So the B-2s did not hit missile launchers today. The ROMs and F-15s already handled that. The B-2s hit the fuel depots that feed the trucks that carry the missiles. They hit the oil storage facilities that power the generators inside the command bunkers. They hit the water treatment plants and pumping stations that keep large military bases operational for longer than 72 hours. They hit the weapons warehouses where replacement parts, spare components, and ammunition reserves were stored for the next 6 months of potential conflict. This is not random destruction. This is a checklist. Radars, commanders, missiles, logistics, infrastructure, supply lines, in that order. By 0615, that checklist is most of the way down the page, and all 3 B-2s are turning south. Bomb bays empty, aircraft clean, no radar return, no evidence of anything except 240 coordinates that now have smoke columns where buildings used to be. A KC-46 tanker is waiting over the northern Arabian Sea. The boom connects, fuel flows. 4 more hours to Diego Garcia. 3 aircraft. 240 bombs, 11 minutes over Iranian airspace. Iran built its entire military doctrine around one core idea: volume. Enough missiles, enough trucks, enough depots scattered across enough mountains. No enemy can stop all of them at once. It is a smart strategy. It works against almost every air force on Earth. It just ran into the one aircraft built to stop all of them at once, from a jet that was already heading home before the first crater stopped smoking. Iran's logistics network is gone. The missiles that were supposed to launch this afternoon are gone. It is over. For this wave. Right now, at Diego Garcia, 3 fresh B-2 crews are walking out to the flight line. Ground crews are loading the next 80 bombs per aircraft into the bays. 230 new targets. Iran spent 40 years building a missile force to threaten the entire Middle East. And so far, it has not worked like they thought it would. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe.